want to point out real quick that it is December here in Texas, and it is 70 degrees. 70 degrees in December in Texas. All right, everybody, so welcome back to the channel. Welcome back here to another video. So today I'm putting together kind of like a, I guess you call it informative, maybe, I don't know. I wanted to put together a video for people that are new to the S550, specifically Gen 3 platform, and they're trying to decide if they want to mod the car, if they want to keep it stock, or if they decide to mod, what direction they decide they should probably go. Instead of changing back and forth, besides, you know, I want to go one route, start here, and then change my mind, and spend a bunch of money, and waste a bunch of money, and flip and go another direction. So I kind of wanted to address that a little bit for anybody that is new to the platform. Now, obviously, there's people that watch my channel that have substantially more modified and higher horsepower cars than mine. Obviously, I'm not talking directly to them specifically, but mainly, like I said, to people that are new to the platform, or not necessarily new, but if you just not sure what direction you want to go, or if you want to keep the car stock, and the pros and cons of keeping it stock versus modifying it if you decide to sell or keep the car. So that's what we're gonna do. I got my 5.0 hat here from MUSTANG Mode on 3 Supply. Not trying to plug obviously his site, but he's doing a bunch of giveaways. Obviously, if you guys are familiar with what MUSTANG Mode has to offer, he does car giveaways, and you purchase stuff on his site, obviously hats, shirts, other shit. But I like the hat, it's nice. On 3supply.com. 71 degrees. That is why I need tires. I need more grip. Okay, so it is a bit windy, so if there's wind affecting the audio, I apologize. Obviously, there's nothing I can do about that, so I will do the best I can. All right, so specifically with the Gen 3 Coyotes, because obviously, you know, that's what I have, so I'll try to make this specifically addressed toward them, but I want to address some pros and cons. If you picked one up and so far your car is still stock and you want to keep the car stock, I will kind of address the pros and cons of that. And then also, if you decide to modify the car, there's different stages and levels to go about trying to modify the car, whether that be slightly modified like mine, or going full, like just like a full out like drag car, show car, whatever, and the steps and the roads to go down and what to expect, pros and cons of that also as well. All right, so the pro to keeping your car stock, number one, first and foremost, clearly, number one thing for me, if it was the case for myself, is you're gonna have a warranty. You're gonna have a factory warranty from Ford. So if anything happens to the car, powertrain, whatever, if your engine goes out, the trans, which the earlier Gen 3s have had issues with, specifically the 2018s, you've had issues with the Gen 3 Coyotes, the trans in those. So the benefit to keeping the car stock is if anything happens, you'll have that cover, and it's not an expense out of your pocket. And if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the 2018, obviously the first year of the Gen 3, was the year that it had issues with the transmission, both the 10R80 and the 6-speed manual, and also the Gen 3 Coyote engine itself. Those have had issues, but if I remember correctly, that was only in the 2018s. They corrected whatever issue they had for the 2019s and up. Okay, so with keeping the car stock, along with having a warranty, you know that you'll always have that, you know, in case anything happens to the car, but you're gonna have the reliability. When you throw mods at the car, intake, exhaust, headers, blower, twin turbo kits, tunes, you can potentially run into issues with the reliability. Now, if it's your only car, it's a daily driver, that is something to specifically and definitely keep in mind, because when you throw more power at the car, and if it was your daily driver, but then you get the itch and you throw different modifications on the car, now you need to go buy another daily driver, usually it's another Mustang, but because it gets so modded where it's easier to just have it as like a weekend car or like a track car. the reliability of keeping it stock, you don't need to worry about that. So keep all those things in mind prior to going into purchasing it, and just know what you want to do ahead of time so you don't spend money on the car that you're more than likely not gonna get back anyway when you decide to go another route when you've already spent thousands of dollars on the car. All right, so in regards to modifying, if you want to modify the car but keep the car reliable, it's a daily driver, it might be the only car that you have, or you just don't want to spend like X amount on the car because, like I said, it's a daily driver, or you just might not keep the car that long. My car, as it stands now, is a good example of that. It's, as it sits now, it has the Course Extreme double X pipe, Course Extreme cold air intake, the GT500 spoiler. It's lowered on iBox Sport lines. It has a Palm Beach dyno 93 tune, and also has a Palm Beach tune on E85. Currently, as it sits right now, I'm still on E85. I'm not sure if I want to go back to 93. I mean, I have the tune. If I have to, then I can always switch back, so it's nice. But the downside to having 2 or more tunes, you got to drain the fuel almost completely empty and then fuel back up and swap tunes. So that is the downside of that, to having multiple tunes. And E85 is cheap, and it's better gas. Now, I don't intend on keeping my car lightly modified. If anybody has watched my channel before, my plans for this car in regards to boost, as I said, I haven't completely made up my mind yet, whether that's an ESS kit, which is a fantastic setup, it's popular, they're great kits. Nitrous is also another option as well. I might throw a nitrous kit on this. I've used nitrous multiple times and I like it. I like how the whole process, I like how it feels. It's just not a lot of cars use it, and it's something I'm familiar with, so I might go that route. Another option is twin turbo kits. So the most reliable option in regards to boost, in my opinion, would probably be like a blower in regards to like an ESS kit, a Pro Charger kit. Now, in regards to Pro Charger, if you went Pro Charger, you want to talk about reliability, they do put a lot of strain on the crank. So you can buy crank support kits when you purchase the Pro Chargers. I think those kits cost like $700 to $800, and I would recommend picking those up if you go the route of a Pro Charger. Pro Chargers are a fantastic kit. That's still an option I might go, but just keep that in mind. You want to get the crank support along with the Pro Charger. The ESS kits are also a fantastic option. Those don't have any issues with crank supports. You can install those in your garage. Same with the Pro Charger or a Vortec. Any of those like centrifugal style blowers, they're a lot easier to install than like a root style. There's just a lot more involved. And then twin turbo, that's a whole another ballgame. There's just a lot more involved with that, and a lot less reliability going twin turbos. So that's another thing to keep in mind also, is know going forward, if you want to keep the car stock, lightly modified like how my car currently sits as of now, or if you want to go blower, turbo, nitrous, know going forward what route you want to go in regards to if it's a daily driver and how reliable you want the car to stay. When adding boost to these cars, people always get to the point where like, all right, I'm not going to add anything to the car, it's done. That's a lie. You're not ever done, because at some point you're going to get bored with the car, you want to switch it up, add something else to the car. Whether that's starting with a Pro Charger and switching over to a turbo kit, or vice versa. You just like to switch it up and get to have different aspects in regards to blowers. You want to experiment and try different things. Now, that also gets to a point to where a daily driver, a reliable stock OEM car, where you soar up and down, you're going to keep the car stock, but then 2 years later, it's an all-out, full-send drag car that has to be trailered back and forth to a drag strip, which honestly is something like what this might turn into. So all those things, keep those things in mind. If you add boost and you keep it as a daily, I would probably recommend going centrifugal, whether that's a Vortec, an ESS, Pro Charger kit, something along the lines of that. You could go E85, but it's not as accessible as obviously 93 pump gas. So I would recommend, I wouldn't go above like the 700, 750 if your car's a daily driver. The reliability aspect of that is gonna start to dwindle away. So if you have it as a daily, it's your only car, and if you're on a budget, whatever the case may be, I would recommend to stay at or below the 700 horsepower mark, because adding power to cars, not just specifically Mustangs, anything in general, it's addictive. You want more and you're not ever satisfied. With my GT500 I had, if you follow my channel enough for a while, that was just over 700 on 93, and I got to a point with that car to where I was getting bored with it, and I was on the verge of potentially converting that over to 85 like I have on this car, and swapping out to a different blower and getting a different setup on the car. So you always get complacent and you want to switch things up, and you got to keep up with the next best thing, I guess. So I guess the whole point of this, like I'm trying to say, is know what you want to do before you go forward, so you're not blowing money and can constantly change in your mind. So if you want to keep it stock, keep it stock. If you want to modify it, decide if you want to have it lightly modified like my car currently sits, or if you want to build a drag car over time. So keep all of those things in mind before you go forward with spending a bunch of money on the car. Now, the pro side to keeping the car stock, in addition to what I said earlier, keeping the car stock, is if you sell the car, you're gonna get a lot more for the car in regards to all the money that you put into it. You're not gonna get that back. It doesn't matter if you sell a private party, you do a trade-in, you put a blower on the car, like all this other shit, trade-in or private party, you're not gonna get that back. Now you keep the car stock and OEM, you know, maybe a few things here or there, trade-in or sell, you're not really at much of a loss. Now, a car in itself, it's not like buying a house. It instantly loses value, but you're not losing as much as if spending tens of thousands of dollars on the car and then decided, you know, screw it, I want to get something else, but I want to get this shit ton of money for the car, $10,000 more than what it's valued at, because you throw all this other shit on it, like a blower, whatever. You're gonna have a hard time trying to get that, especially doing like a trade in it, like a lot or something like that. I say that because that's what I did with the GT500. I took a loss with that car, and it's only because I had to get rid of the car quickly. It is what it is, it happens. So I probably spent in mods in that car probably $25,000 to $30,000 on top of the price of the car. I didn't come anywhere close to getting that back. So yeah, I mean, it comes with the whole aspect of having these cars, and it's a hobby. It's an expensive hobby. Just know the route that you want to go. All right, everyone, so I hope that helps. I like to put these videos together to kind of help people out that are new to the platform and they're just not showing which direction they want to go, and it's always good to put something together to potentially help someone out decide which route they decide to go. But on that note, I'm going to close this out. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't seen my channel before, please do me a favor. Please hit subscribe, drop me a like, and please leave a comment. It helps me out. But on that note, you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.